These influencer boxers are being exposed. Now let me start off with Kingpin. We all seen what happened on that tournament. Bad fights. Let me start off with the Jarvis versus Tom Zanetti. Tom Zanetti gassed out. How do you gas out and quit in the middle of a fight? Are these influencers not training correctly? How hard are they training? Are they getting paid on front so they're not performing as right? I don't know what the deal is. But Thompson 80 quit and Jarvis didn't get to perform how he should have. He didn't show anything. I'm not surprised if there was no good pay-per-view buys. If the pay-per-view buys weren't there. The stadium dried out. Nunes brought all the fans. And now let me go with Ennis and Gibb. Ennis and Gibb, after the first fight that he did with Austin McBroom, I thought he was going to be the greatest. I thought he had a chance with Jake Paul in a rematch. But then the second fight with him and Austin McBroom came out. Now, it wasn't his fault that he didn't perform right, but these influencers are getting exposed. Austin McBroom said that he was going to bring something different. He didn't. What happened to him? I don't even know what the injury was. I don't know if he came out with the injury, but he just quit on the spot. Another one, King Kenny. I haven't said this, but King Kenny is the most overrated boxer in the influencer space. He's not that good. Okay, yeah, he knocked out that, I don't know who, some irrelevant dude. I think he only had like one fight. Trash. Okay, he's only good when he fights trash fighters. When he fought Face Tenter, Face Sensei, he was getting his ass whooped. His ass whooped, getting his ass handed to. Quick forward to Nunes and him, his fight. There's no way he didn't knock him out. Nunes hasn't had that many fights. He hasn't had that much experience. Trash. Performance was garbage. I didn't see no TKO. I didn't see no knockout. I don't know if he's scared to throw his hands. I don't know if he's scared of getting clipped because Fez Sensei probably put that fear in him. But absolutely bad performance. Now round two, FaZe Jarvis versus Anderson Gibb. Now I thought I was gonna see more from Anderson Gibb. To be honest here, FaZe Jarvis doesn't have that much experience. Yeah, he's been working with the money team, but what else has he done? He's only had two fights with Tom Zanetti, not that much experience from that, and then with another TikToker. I didn't think Jarvis was gonna perform that good. It wasn't Anderson Gibb's fault that he performed that bad because Jarvis brought the fight. But again, absolutely inconsistent performances from Anderson Gibb. I don't know if he's just getting paid too much and he doesn't have that drive anymore. But I want to see more from him. Where's his power at? He hasn't knocked out a single fighter, and he said he was going to dominate the Kingpin tournament. Now let's go to King Kenny and Nunes. I already touched on it a little bit, but King Kenny's overrated. No power. His skills are there, but he doesn't throw his hands. I don't know if his defense is there. I don't know. He doesn't perform as good. Nunes, on the other hand, we know he didn't know how to box, but he brought in fans. I'm not surprised that Kingpin were close to going bankrupt and they needed the zone to save them. Because who's buying these pay-per-view buys? Who's buying this pay-per-view? I didn't pay for it. I'm not gonna tell you how I seen it, but I didn't pay for these. Absolutely disappointment performances in the Kingpin tournament. Now my brother's gonna get on the Misfits cards and how they've been performing.
Now, Misfits is also inconsistent and it's also having their fighters being exposed. Now, let's start with Saul Poppy. Saul Poppy, two of his fights have been by TKOs or a knockout. Everybody was hyping up Saul Poppy. He even called out KSI, and some people were saying, you know what? Saul Poppy might be a challenge for KSI. It might go toe to toe. Who knows? KSI could get knocked out. Saul Poppy looks like he has skill. And then guess what happens? He goes up against Anthony Taylor, somebody who's a dog, who's maybe not the best boxer toe to toe, maybe not the best skill wise and the best IQ, but he's a dog. And what happens? He schools Saul Poppy. He embarrasses Saul Poppy. And then from then, Saul Poppy no more. Nobody's talking about Saul Poppy anymore. Nobody's interested in him. Why? Because he lost and he just exposed him. All right, look, he's only good when he fights people who are scared of him, people who don't want to fight him. But when he fights somebody who's a dog, who doesn't care, that's when he gets rocked and that's when he gets exposed. Also, Slim. Slim also got exposed. Slim has been knocking out people. He knocked out Temper. Very disappointment fight for Temper. Everybody wanted Temper to win. He knocked him out. It was very sad to see. But guess what? Guess who he fights? Tom Zanetti, another dog. Another person who doesn't have the best IQ in the ring, who's not the best boxer, doesn't have the best experience, but who's a dog, exactly like Anthony Taylor. And guess what happens? Slim also gets embarrassed, also gets exposed. And then people starting to question, where's Slim at? We haven't seen Slim call out anybody. We haven't heard anything about Slim. I think Slim is hiding after that performance. After he realized that, what? Everybody knows that Slim is just a faker. Slim isn't that good of a boxer as he claimed he is. Look what happened with Tom Zanetti. Tom Zanetti was gassed out. Tom Zanetti had no skill and no power, and he still couldn't knock him out. He still couldn't win that fight by majority of the decision. Most fans didn't watch that fight and said, you know what? I think Slim easily won that fight. Now there's all ties, and I'm bringing this over to the KSI and Tommy Fury fight. A lot of people saying that Tommy Fury is obviously going to win. He has more experience. He's a better boxer, better ring IQ. He knows how to fight like a true boxer. Jab, jab, and right hand. That's how he beat Jake Paul. But this connects back to why all these other influencers are getting exposed because they're fighting people who are going toe to toe with them. But when they fight dogs, like Salt Poppy, he fought a dog, he lost. Slim, he fought a dog, and he lost. So I feel like when Tommy Fury fights KSI, who's obviously not the best boxer, but who's a dog, who just goes in there and just wants to knock out, who doesn't care about his form, doesn't really care about going toe to toe, finding his range, doing all that. He doesn't care. He's in there to have a fight. And I feel like that's when Tommy Fury is going to get exposed. So although Tommy Fury is not really an influencer boxer, he is fighting an influencer. So he's also going to get exposed on the Misfits card, and it's going to be embarrassing once we see that, Jake Paul, you're a good boxer. But when it comes to fighting, when it comes to being a true fighter, and when it comes to having that dog in you, you're not the guy. But KSI is the guy, and I promise you, when this KSI and Tommy Fury fight happens, we're going to see that these influencers, not only are they getting exposed, but the people who want to go in there and thinking they know how to box, they all get schooled and they all get dog walked when it comes to people who are just there to fight.